There is no accident in your presence here today. You have been led to this moment not by chance, but by the silent working of your own imagination. The world you see before you is nothing more than a reflection of the thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions you have entertained. And now I tell you, your time has come. You are no longer waiting. The millions you seek are already yours. But you must first accept this truth, not with the rational mind that questions and doubts, but with the inner knowing that what you claim within must manifest without. You do not need to chase, beg, or toil endlessly for your wealth. The moment you assume yourself to be the one who has it, the entire universe conspires to make it so. See yourself now as the one who has already received. Feel the weight of success pressing upon you, the joy of financial freedom coursing through your being. Walk through this world as one who has no lack, no need, no limitation. Because what you assume with conviction becomes the law of your life. If you persist in the feeling of already having, it is impossible for the world not to comply. Doubt not. Let no external appearance shake you. If today your senses tell you a different story, ignore them. Do not look at the world and say, I am still waiting. Instead, say to yourself boldly, it is done. Attitude is the bridge. Speak as if you are already in possession of your wealth. Say, I am so thankful for the millions flowing into my life. I feel the abundance surrounding me. Speak it until your words become flesh. The path is already laid before you. Your time is no longer in some distant future. Your time is now. Walk in faith. Claim your millions within and watch as the world bends to fulfill your assumption. Everything you see, touch, and experience in this world is nothing more than a reflection of the thoughts you have persistently held within. The reality you call real is, in truth, nothing but a shadow cast by your imagination. There is no outside force shaping your life, no external authority deciding whether you will have wealth or struggle. The only determining factor is the state of consciousness you choose to occupy. You are not separate from your desires. The millions you seek are not something outside of you waiting for the right conditions to appear. They already exist, but they must first exist within you before they can take shape in the physical world. The moment you assume and accept wealth as your reality, the outer world must rearrange itself to mirror that assumption. There is no other way. The mistake many make is in believing that their imagination is simply a form of fantasy, an escape from reality. But this is the great misunderstanding. Imagination is the only reality because it is the source of all things. Everything that exists, every building, every piece of technology, every fortune ever made, first existed in someone's imagination before it took form. Nothing comes into being unless it is first claimed in the unseen. So what does this mean for you? It means that you must assume the state of the millionaire now, before your senses confirm it. You must walk as though wealth is already yours. Speak as though you already have it, and think from the position of one who possesses limitless abundance. If you continue to believe that you must work towards it, or that it is something you may have one day, you will forever push it into the future. Live in the end. See yourself in possession of the millions. What does your life look like now that you have it? Where do you live? How do you feel? Who do you help? The clearer you define this reality within, the faster it solidifies in the external world. Do not concern yourself with the how or when. The bridge of incidents will unfold naturally in ways you cannot predict, but that is not your work. Your work is to hold the assumption firmly, unshaken by any contradiction in the present moment. Doubt is the only thing that delays the process. If you look at your current circumstances and allow them to dictate your belief, You have made the outer world your master instead of the servant it was meant to be. The physical world only reflects. It does not create. To change the reflection, you must change what is projected from within. Your millions are already here waiting for you to accept them. The moment you embody the feeling of being wealthy, the moment you claim it as your truth, the world must comply. The law is simple. What you assume and persist in must harden into fact. So, assume wisely, persist faithfully, and let the world conform to the reality you have created within. The greatest deception in this world is the belief that time separates you from your desires. You have been conditioned to think in terms of waiting, striving, and earning, believing that what you seek is always in the future, just out of reach. But this is an illusion. The truth is that there is no separation between you and your desires except the belief that they are not yet yours. Whoa. The moment you claim something as true within, it is yours, for creation is finished and everything already exists in the unseen. When you desire wealth, you are not creating it from nothing. You are simply becoming aware of what already exists in another dimension of reality. It is not something that must be built over time, achieved through struggle, or brought forth by external conditions. Your millions exist now, but they can only become visible when you assume the state of already having them. This is not wishful thinking. It is the law by which all things come into being. Most people delay their blessings by constantly acknowledging their current limitations. They believe that their bank account, job, or circumstances dictate what is possible. But the outer world is just a reflection of past assumptions. If you continue to dwell on the lack, if you keep telling yourself that wealth is coming one day, you are unknowingly pushing it away. You must take possession now, not tomorrow, not next year, but in this very moment. How do you do this? You shift your awareness. Right now, close your eyes and imagine yourself already in possession of great wealth. Feel the joy, the relief, the confidence that comes with knowing you have more than enough. Hear the conversations you would have, experience the ease with which you move through life. This is not daydreaming. This is the creative act. When you persist in this state, it must become your external reality, for the world cannot help but mirror what you are conscious of being. Doubt is the only thing that delays manifestation. The mind, conditioned by time, will ask, "But where is it? Why hasn't it appeared yet?" These questions keep you bound to the illusion that you are separate from your desire. The truth is that your assumption is already working. The unseen forces are moving, aligning circumstances, creating the path. But if you look at the world and say, "Nothing is happening," you are stepping out of the state of having and back into the state of waiting. There is nothing to wait for. Your wealth exists now, and it belongs to you the moment you accept it. You must not concern yourself with how it will come or when it will appear. Trust in the law. That which you assume and persist in must become fact. When you embrace this truth and live from it, time will dissolve, and what once seemed distant will be right before you. The promise is now. Claim it. The greatest barrier between you and your desires is the need to control how and when they appear. You have been taught to believe that success comes through effort, strategy, and external action. But this is a misunderstanding of how reality works. Your wealth, your abundance, already exists, but it cannot reach you as long as you are consumed with figuring out how it will come and when it will happen. The moment you let go of these questions and rest in the certainty of already having, the unseen forces will move in ways beyond your comprehension to bring it to you. The mind, conditioned by logic and limitation, wants a step-by-step process. It seeks reassurance, asking, "What do I need to do? How will this happen?" But these questions arise from doubt, and doubt is the only thing that delays manifestation. When you truly understand the power of your assumption, you will no longer need to ask how or when. You will know that once you claim something in consciousness, it must appear in your world. When you plant a seed, you do not dig it up every day to check if it is growing. You trust that nature is at work even though you cannot see the process unfolding beneath the soil. The same principle applies to your desires. The moment you assume yourself to be wealthy, the moment you feel it as true, the process has begun. But if you constantly question whether it is working, if you look around and say, "I don't see anything changing," you are uprooting the seed before it has a chance to grow. The unseen forces, those greater laws that govern all of existence, will move in ways you cannot predict. Your job is not to force the path, but to remain faithful to the end result. Your millions could come through an unexpected opportunity, a sudden breakthrough, or a sequence of events you could never have orchestrated, but these events cannot unfold if you insist on micromanaging the process. The moment you let go, you open the door for the universe to work on your behalf. Detachment is not about giving up, it is about trusting completely. It means releasing the need to manipulate circumstances and instead resting in the knowing that what you have assumed must come to pass. It means walking through life as if your wealth is already here, not anxiously searching for proof, but living in the confidence of already having it. If you find yourself doubting, remind yourself, I do not need to know how or when. My only work is to assume the feeling of already having and trust the unseen to arrange the details. The moment you detach from the process, things will begin to shift. Paths will open, people will be drawn to you, and circumstances will adjust in ways you could not have imagined. Trust this. Let go of control. Let the unseen forces move mountains on your behalf, for they will, if only you allow them. Wealth is not something you pursue, it is something you embody. The moment you believe wealth is outside of you, something to chase, it will always remain just out of reach. But when you understand that wealth is a state of being, you shift from striving to receiving. You do not become wealthy through effort alone. You become wealthy by assuming the identity of one who already possesses it. Everything in your life is a reflection of the state of consciousness you consistently occupy. If you see yourself as someone who is struggling, if you speak about lack, if you constantly affirm that money is difficult to obtain, then your world will reflect that belief. But the moment you assume the identity of a wealthy person, not in arrogance, but in certainty, your external world will have no choice but to conform. Ask yourself, how does a millionaire think? How do they carry themselves? What are their daily habits, their thoughts, their actions? They do not walk with hesitation. They move with confidence. They do not speak about lack. They affirm abundance. They do not look at price tags with fear. They know money is a resource that flows to them effortlessly. If you truly believe that wealth is already yours, your entire demeanor will shift. Start by adjusting the way you speak. Words shape reality, for they reveal the beliefs you hold. Stop saying, "I can't afford this," or "I wish I had more money." Instead, affirm, "Money flows to me easily," or "I always have more than enough." Even if your external circumstances seem unchanged, hold firm in this new language, for it is planting the seeds of a different reality. Then, shift the way you walk. Confidence is a sign of wealth. A wealthy person does not rush in desperation. They move with certainty, knowing that everything they desire is already theirs. Stand taller, breathe deeply, and embody the presence of one who has already achieved success. The world responds not to what you wish, but to what you are, and you must become it internally before it manifests externally. Next, align your thinking. Wealthy individuals do not dwell on problems, they focus on solutions. They do not see obstacles as roadblocks, but as stepping stones to greater abundance. When faced with financial challenges, ask yourself, how would a millionaire handle this? And act accordingly. Instead of shrinking in fear, step forward in faith, knowing that you have already won. Your external world is simply a mirror of the state you persist in. If you continuously occupy the mindset of one who already has millions, the world must arrange itself to match that assumption. This is not theory, it is law. Let go of the belief that wealth is something distant, something that requires years of struggle. Assume it now. Live as though it is already yours, and reality will reshape itself to prove you right. You are not waiting to become wealthy, you already are. Walk, speak, and think accordingly. The only thing standing between you and the life you desire is persistence. What you assume to be true, what you repeatedly claim within, must by law manifest in your outer world. But the mistake most people make is abandoning their assumption too soon. They look around, see no immediate evidence, and let doubt creep in. Doubt is the only enemy. It is the force that keeps you bound to your old reality, preventing the new from taking form. You must understand that the world you see is simply a reflection of past thoughts, past beliefs, past assumptions. If you have spent years believing in struggle, in limitation, then your external world will still reflect that for a time, even after you change your assumptions. But that does not mean your new reality is not forming. The unseen forces are at work, arranging circumstances, aligning opportunities, shifting the very fabric of your existence. The only thing that can stop this process is your own impatience, your own wavering in belief. Your only task is to persist until it hardens into fact. No matter what the outer world shows you, hold firm in your inner assumption. If your bank account still shows lack, ignore it. If circumstances seem unchanged, persist. The world has no choice but to conform to your dominant state of consciousness, but you must remain faithful to it. Many people give up just before the breakthrough. They assume wealth, they feel it. They begin to see small changes. But then a challenge arises, and they fall back into fear, into worry, into doubt. They let the external world dictate their inner state, instead of understanding that their inner state is what dictates the external. This is why persistence is everything. How long must you persist? Until it is real, until the outer world bends to match your assumption. It does not matter how long it takes. What matters is that you do not waver. You do not check for evidence. You do not question. You do not seek validation from the world. You remain firm in the knowing that what you have assumed is already yours. This is the secret. Not wishful thinking, not hoping, not trying. It is knowing and persisting in that knowing until it takes form. Doubt delays. Fear repels, but persistence creates. Hold your vision, and reality will be forced to conform. It is law. Gratitude is the final key that seals your reality. When you are truly grateful, you confirm that you already possess what you desire. You do not beg for it, nor do you wonder if it will come. You know it is yours. Gratitude is not just a feeling. It is the ultimate act of faith. It is the silent yet powerful declaration that you have already received. And in that confirmation, you accelerate the arrival of your desire into the physical world. Most people express gratitude only after they receive something, but this is backward thinking. Gratitude must come before the manifestation, not after. If you wait to be grateful only when you see evidence, then you are still operating from doubt. You are still assuming that what you want is separate from you. But when you are grateful in advance, you are stepping into the state of already having, already being, already possessing. And when you persist in that state, the world must rearrange itself to prove you right. Many people unknowingly delay their blessings because they are too focused on when and how their desire will come. They keep checking, worrying, questioning, but gratitude dissolves all of that. The moment you step into gratitude, you release the need to control. You are no longer concerned with the how because you already know it is yours. This trust creates the perfect conditions for manifestation, allowing unseen forces to move without resistance. Gratitude also shifts your focus from lack to abundance. When you dwell on what you don't have, you amplify that reality. But when you focus on what you do have, even if it is only in imagination, you align yourself with more abundance. You train your mind to see opportunities, to recognize wealth, to expect success, and as you persist in this awareness, it must externalize. Each morning, before you even open your eyes, affirm, "Thank you for the millions that are already mine." Feel the joy as if it has already happened. Walk through your day in that energy, knowing that it is unfolding perfectly. Let gratitude be your proof that your reality is already shifting. This is not wishful thinking, it is law. You do not receive and then give thanks. You give thanks and then you receive. The moment you make gratitude your default state, you step into the life that was always meant for you. It is already yours. Everything you desire already exists. The wealth, the success, the abundance. It is not something you must chase, beg for, or force into being. It is something you must claim. Your imagination is the only reality, and what you persist in assuming must become your experience. Time is an illusion. The moment you accept your wealth in consciousness, it is already yours. You do not need to know how or when. Your only task is to trust. Live in the state of already having. Think and walk as one who possesses millions, and persist until the world bends to match your inner conviction. Doubt is the only enemy, and gratitude is the final seal that confirms your reality. When you are grateful in advance, you accelerate the arrival of all you desire. Now, step forward with certainty. The wealth you seek is not in some distant future. It is here now. Assume it, feel it, give thanks for it, and watch as it materializes in ways you could never have imagined. Your time has come. You will have millions. Thank you. Close your eyes for a moment and listen. Not with your ears, but with your heart. What words do you repeat to yourself day after day? Are they words of power, of certainty, of abundance? Or do you mutter phrases of doubt, limitation, and fear? Understand this: your words are the brushstrokes painting the canvas of your life. Every declaration, whether spoken in joy or in frustration, is a seed planted in the soil of your existence. And what is planted must grow. The world you see today is the result of yesterday's words. Every time you spoke of what you could or could not do, of what was possible or impossible, you wrote the script for your life. This is why you must guard your tongue as one would guard a great treasure. You say, "But I have spoken of riches, yet they do not appear." Ah, but did you speak them with the conviction that they were already yours? Or did you declare them as something far away, something uncertain, something you merely hoped for? The secret lies in knowing, in declaring, "I am," not "I hope to be." Speak as though it is already done. Feel the weight of those words in your chest as you say them. I am successful. I am wealthy. I am deeply loved. And as you do, the world begins to conform. The energy around you bends, rearranges, and delivers unto you that which you have declared. But beware, words of doubt spoken in a moment of weakness are just as powerful. To say, "I don't have enough," "things never work out for me," or "I always struggle," is to chain yourself to a reality you do not want. The universe does not discriminate. It simply brings forth what you affirm. So I tell you, starting today, let no idle word escape your lips. If you wish to see a life of abundance, let abundance be the only thing you speak of. If you wish to experience love, speak as one already adored. Even in silence you hold power, for when you cannot yet speak of greatness, It is better to say nothing than to curse yourself with words of doubt. The world moves at the command of your voice. Speak wisely, speak powerfully. Speak as if you already have all that you desire, because in truth, you do. Every word you utter is not just sound, it is a force, a decree sent into the unseen, shaping the world around you in ways you may not yet comprehend. What you say is not empty. It is filled with creative energy, moving through the invisible fabric of reality, arranging circumstances, influencing outcomes, and molding the very essence of your existence. Consider for a moment the conversations you have with yourself and others. Are your words ones of power, certainty, and abundance? Or do they echo fear, lack, and limitation? Every phrase spoken with conviction sets something into motion, like ripples expanding outward, touching everything in their path. When you declare, "I am successful," you send forth an order into the unseen, commanding the forces of life to align accordingly. But when you say, "I will never get ahead," you unknowingly cast a spell upon yourself, ensuring that your reality reflects the struggle you have spoken into existence. There is no neutrality in speech. Words either build or destroy, uplift or diminish. The subconscious mind does not argue, does not reason. It simply accepts and executes the instructions given to it through the words you repeat. And what is accepted inwardly must be expressed outwardly. That is the great secret. The world around you is nothing more than the mirror of your internal dialogue. You are not merely describing life as it is, you are creating it as you go. Think of the times you have spoken about misfortune even before it arrived. You may have said, "Things never go my way," and sure enough, the world delivered proof of your words. This was not coincidence. It was the result of your unseen command. Likewise, those who constantly affirm their well-being, even in difficult times, often find that life bends in their favor. They do not wait for proof to believe. They believe first, and the proof follows. Your words carry an energetic weight, shaping your perception and the perception others have of you. When you speak with confidence, when you declare what is yours as if it is already so, people respond to you differently. Opportunities seem to appear effortlessly. Doors open where once there were none. It is not luck, nor is it magic. It is simply the law at work. The same law that governs the tides, the stars, and the changing seasons is the law that governs your speech and its creative power. But beware of idle words, for even those spoken in jest carry weight. To say, "I am always unlucky," may seem harmless in the moment, but repeated often enough, it solidifies into belief, and belief crystallizes into experience. The world does not discern between what you truly desire and what you habitually affirm. It simply gives you more of what you declare with feeling. This is why you must guard your words as one would guard a great treasure, for they are the seeds of tomorrow's harvest. If you wish to transform your life, begin with the words you speak. Declare only what you desire to see, and speak as though it is already yours. If health is your goal, say, "I am vibrant and full of energy." If wealth is your aim, affirm, "Money flows to me effortlessly." If love is what you seek, declare, "I am deeply loved and cherished." At first it may feel unnatural, but persist. Just as a seed does not become a tree overnight, your words take time to manifest, but they will. And when doubts arise, as they surely will, remain silent rather than give power to words that contradict your desires. The wise understand that even silence is a form of speech, for in choosing not to affirm negativity, they keep their creations intact. Speak with intention, with clarity, and with faith. The world is listening, and as surely as the sun rises, it will respond. Every word that leaves your lips carries power, whether you recognize it or not. The universe does not pause to analyze whether you meant what you said, or whether you were simply joking, complaining, or speaking without thought. It takes your words as commands, fulfilling them without question, shaping your reality according to the law you set forth. This is why you must become deeply conscious of the way you speak about yourself, your circumstances, and your future. When you say, "I always struggle," Life responds accordingly, providing more struggle. When you declare, "Nothing ever works out for me," the unseen forces of reality align to make those words true. You may not think much of casual complaints, but every sentence you repeat reinforces a reality that eventually becomes undeniable. The great secret is that what you say with conviction, whether in joy or frustration, becomes law in your world. There is no neutrality in your declarations. When you say, "I am successful," and truly believe it, unseen forces begin to move in ways you cannot yet see, bringing forth opportunities, connections, and circumstances to match your words. But if you say, "I will never make it," even in passing, the same unseen forces begin to block your progress, ensuring that your words do not return to you empty. Many people speak without awareness, unknowingly cursing themselves with their own declarations. They talk of debt, sickness, and loneliness, reinforcing these conditions simply by giving them attention and authority. The universe is impartial. It does not recognize sarcasm, jokes, or fleeting frustrations. It only fulfills. This is why you must learn to declare only that which you desire, for once spoken, your words begin their journey toward fulfillment. To master this law, you must speak as if your desires are already yours. If you wish for abundance, you must not say, "I hope to be rich someday." Instead, declare, "I am wealthy now." If you long for love, do not say, "I wish someone would love me." Instead, affirm, "I am deeply loved." Your words should not reflect your current circumstances, but rather the reality you intend to live. This is not denial, this is creation. It is through this unwavering speech that you set the course of your life. You may wonder, how can I say something that does not yet appear to be true? But that is the very key. The seen world is merely a reflection of past thoughts and words. To change it, you must speak ahead of what your eyes perceive. This is why those who understand this law do not wait for success to speak of themselves as successful. They declare it now, knowing that their words will call forth the conditions necessary to make it a reality. Be mindful also of the words spoken by those around you. If they declare negativity, do not join them. Do not affirm limitation, even in sympathy. When someone says, "It's impossible," remain silent or counter it with, "Anything is possible." The company you keep and the words they speak influence the atmosphere in which you exist. Surround yourself with those who speak of abundance, possibility, and success, for their words will reinforce your own. If ever you slip and speak words of lack or doubt, do not despair. Simply replace them immediately. If you catch yourself saying, "I'm always unlucky," immediately correct it with, "I am always in the right place at the right time." The key is persistence. The more you affirm the reality you desire, the faster it solidifies. Your words are not mere sounds, they are commands. They do not fade into nothingness once spoken, they set things into motion. Speak only of what you want to see and speak as if it is already done. The universe does not question your words. It simply fulfills. Every word you speak carries a frequency, a vibrational essence that resonates with the unseen forces of life. Like a tuning fork, your words emit an energy that attracts matching experiences into your reality. The universe does not operate by chance. It responds to vibration, and nothing carries more vibrational power than the words you consistently affirm. Consider the way sound influences the physical world. A single spoken word is more than just sound waves moving through the air. It is a declaration that sets invisible forces into motion. Ancient wisdom has long understood this truth. Mantras, prayers, affirmations, and sacred utterances have been used for centuries to shape reality. Science, too, confirms this. Words influence water. Words influence plants. And most importantly, words influence the mind, which in turn shapes experience. Now, think of the words you repeat daily. Are they in alignment with what you wish to create? Are you speaking health, wealth, and success into your life, or do you unknowingly reinforce struggle, lack, and hardship? Every time you say, I am tired, you reinforce exhaustion. Every time you say, I never have enough, you keep yourself in a state of lack. But when you declare, I am strong, I am abundant, I am unstoppable, you shift your frequency, and the world begins to move accordingly. Words have the power to attract, to repel, to heal, or to harm. When spoken with emotion, they become even more potent. A word spoken with deep belief carries a frequency so strong that it must find expression in the physical realm. This is why those who continually affirm their success, their joy, their power, often see those very things materialize in their lives. They have attuned themselves to the frequency of what they desire, and the law of vibration ensures that what is in harmony must come together. The key is consistency. Speaking words of power once or twice is not enough. You must make it a daily practice, a habit, so ingrained that no thought of doubt can override it. Just as a tuning fork resonates at a particular frequency, your words must remain steady, unwavering, aligned with the reality you wish to see. It is not enough to merely say the words. You must feel them, embody them, become them. Saying, I am successful while harboring doubt will not produce results. But saying, I am successful with full conviction, feeling the energy of success in your very being, will reshape your reality. This is the secret of those who seem to have life effortlessly bend in their favor. They do not speak of their desires as something distant or unattainable. They affirm them as present, as real, as already theirs. Beware of words spoken in frustration or carelessness. The universe does not distinguish between what you truly desire and what you casually reinforce through repetition. If you say, I am always unlucky, even in jest, you set that frequency into motion. Instead, choose your words wisely. When you catch yourself speaking in limitation, pause, correct it, and shift to a higher vibration. Surround yourself with words that uplift, empower, and inspire. Read them, write them, speak them aloud. Let them become the dominant vibration of your life. The more you immerse yourself in words of greatness, the more you align with that energy, and the more it flows toward you. You are always tuning yourself to a particular frequency through your speech. Make sure that frequency matches the life you wish to live. Speak abundance, and it will find you. Speak love, and it will embrace you. Speak power, and you will feel it rise within you. Your words are the signal, the command, the vibration that shapes all that comes to you. Choose them wisely, and they will bring forth all you desire. Your words are powerful forces of creation, shaping your reality whether you realize it or not. Every sentence you speak is like planting a seed in the soil of the unseen. Some words bear fruit in abundance, while others bring forth only barrenness and limitation. When you say, I don't have enough, you are not merely describing your situation. You are affirming it, reinforcing it, and ensuring that it continues. The universe responds not to what you wish for, but to what you declare. To speak words of lack is to command scarcity into existence. Every time you say, I can't afford that, you shut the door to abundance. Every time you say, it's impossible, you build a wall between yourself and the very thing you desire. These words do not simply fade into the air. They shape your perception, your decisions, and ultimately your outcomes. They act as a vibrational barrier, keeping you trapped in the very conditions you wish to escape. But there is a way out. The key is to speak only of fulfillment, even when your senses present evidence to the contrary. This is not denial, it is a higher form of awareness. It is the recognition that your external world is nothing more than a reflection of past thoughts, past words, past beliefs. To change your experience, you must first change your speech. Instead of saying, I don't have enough money, say, money flows to me effortlessly. Instead of saying, I can't find love, say, I'm surrounded by love in all forms. Do not declare what is missing, declare what is coming, what is already yours in the unseen. Speak it until it becomes your truth. You may wonder, but how can I say I am abundant when I have no money? How can I say I am healthy when I feel unwell? The answer is simple. Your words precede your reality. What you consistently affirm will eventually solidify into form. Those who understand this law do not wait for visible proof before they speak their desires into existence. They know that words are the architects of experience, shaping the unseen before it becomes the seen. This is why you must be unwavering in your declarations. Do not allow momentary difficulties to cause you to speak against yourself. Even in the face of obstacles, hold firm to words of power. When circumstances tempt you to say, "It's not working," respond with, "Everything is working in my favor." When doubt whispers, "You are failing," counter it with, "I am on the path to great success." Your words do not just describe your reality, they create it. When you refuse to speak lack, you refuse to accept it as your truth. When you declare abundance, even before it appears, you make room for it to manifest. The unseen forces of life are always listening, always responding, always moving in alignment with the words you repeatedly affirm. Even in conversations with others, be mindful. Do not engage in discussions that reinforce limitation. If someone says, "It's hard to succeed in this world," do not agree. Instead say, "Opportunities are everywhere." If they say, "I'm always unlucky," counter with, "Good fortune is always on its way." Not only do these words uplift you, but they also shift the energy of those around you. The more you practice this, the more natural it will become. At first it may feel unfamiliar, but soon you will notice a shift. You will feel more empowered, more at peace, more in control of your destiny. The world will begin to reflect back to you the abundance you have been speaking. Never again speak of lack. Never again declare limitation. No matter what your eyes see, no matter what your circumstances suggest, hold to the truth that you are abundant, successful, and capable. Speak only of fulfillment, and soon fulfillment will be all you know. The words you speak are not just sounds. They are creative forces that shape your reality. Every time you declare something, you are impressing it upon your subconscious mind, and the subconscious does not question. It simply accepts and acts upon what it is given. This is why the secret to transforming your life lies in the power of present tense speech. When you say, "I am wealthy, I am loved," or "I am thriving," you are not merely making statements, you are issuing commands that mold your existence. Most people speak of their desires in the future tense. They say, "One day I will be successful," or "I hope to find happiness someday." But the subconscious mind does not operate in the future. It only understands the present. When you place your desires in the realm of someday, you are unknowingly keeping them at a distance. The universe responds to the now, and so must you. This is why affirmations in the present tense are so powerful. When you declare, "I am successful," you are training your mind to accept it as reality. Even if your external circumstances do not yet reflect it, your subconscious begins to align with that truth. It starts to shift your thoughts, your actions, and your perceptions to match the new identity you have claimed. Over time, the world around you will adjust accordingly, because what is within always expresses itself outwardly. Some may argue, "But how can I say I am wealthy when my bank account is empty?" The answer is that your words precede your reality. Everything in life begins with a spoken word, a thought given form. If you continue to say, "I am broke," you reinforce that state. But if you declare, "I am abundant," you open the door for abundance to flow into your experience. You are not lying to yourself. You are stepping into the truth of what is possible. The key is consistency. One moment of positive speech will not override years of habitual doubt. You must immerse yourself in the language of success, love, and prosperity. Speak these truths daily, as naturally as you breathe. Let them become the dominant vibration of your life. When doubt creeps in, do not entertain it. Replace it instantly with a statement of power. I am strong. I am capable. I am worthy. It is also important to infuse your words with feeling. Mechanical repetition will not produce the same results as words spoken with conviction. When you say, I am thriving, feel the energy of thriving within you. Let it fill your body and mind. This emotional charge strengthens the command and accelerates its manifestation. Every great transformation begins with a shift in speech. Look at those who have achieved great things, and you will see that they speak as if their success is already theirs. They do not say, I hope to be great one day. They declare, I am great. This is not arrogance, it is alignment with truth. The moment you accept your desired reality as already present, it begins to take form. Be mindful of your words in every aspect of life. Speak as though you are already the person you wish to be. Do not say, I am trying to be confident. Say, I am confident. Do not say, I want to be healthy. Say, I am vibrant and strong. Let no words of lack or limitation escape your lips, for they are nothing more than illusions. The subconscious mind listens to everything you say. It does not argue, it does not analyze. It simply obeys. Speak to it with authority. Give it commands that uplift and empower. Let your every word be a declaration of the life you desire, spoken as if it is already here. Because the truth is, it is. The moment you claim it in the present, the forces of life begin to arrange themselves to make it so. There is immense power in silence, a power that most overlook. Words shape reality, but when they are misused, when they are filled with doubt, fear, or limitation, they do more harm than good. If you cannot yet bring yourself to speak in alignment with your desires, it is better to remain silent. Silence is not inaction. It is a conscious choice to guard your energy, to protect your creative power, and to avoid speaking words that reinforce the very conditions you wish to change. Many people speak without awareness, filling the air with complaints, self-doubt, and negativity. They do not realize that every word they utter is a command to the universe, shaping their experiences in ways they may not intend. They say, I can't do this, nothing ever works out for me, or life is unfair, and then they wonder why their circumstances reflect these beliefs. Words are seeds, and what you plant will grow. If you cannot yet plant seeds of abundance, success, and joy, at the very least, do not plant seeds of lack and limitation. Silence gives you control. It allows you to break free from the automatic patterns of speech that keep you stuck in unwanted cycles. When you feel the urge to complain, resist it. When you feel tempted to declare failure, remain quiet. The energy of silence is far more powerful than the energy of negative speech. In stillness, your mind can reset. In quiet, you can observe your thoughts without reinforcing them with words. This does not mean suppressing emotions or denying reality. It means refusing to give power to circumstances that do not serve you. When you are uncertain, when you are struggling, when you are tempted to affirm lack, pause. Let the moment pass without speaking against yourself. Words spoken in frustration or fear often carry more weight than we realize. A single moment of careless speech can reinforce patterns of struggle. But silence creates space. It stops the momentum of negative thought and allows you to choose your words wisely. There is a reason why those who understand the power of creation are deliberate in their speech. They do not waste words. They do not engage in conversations that drain their energy. They do not affirm what they do not wish to experience. Instead, they use silence as a tool, a way to preserve their inner strength and align their thoughts before speaking. They understand that words are not just expressions, they are decrees. that set unseen forces into motion. When you feel ready to speak, let your words be intentional. Do not speak merely to fill the air. Speak only what uplifts, empowers, and aligns with the reality you desire. If you are not yet able to say, "I am wealthy," without doubt creeping in, then say nothing at all. If you cannot yet declare, "I am loved," without hesitation, then hold your tongue rather than reinforcing loneliness with words of despair. This practice will make you more aware of your speech. You will begin to notice just how often people around you affirm struggle without realizing it. You will see how conversations are filled with limitation, doubt, and fear, and you will have a choice to join in or to remain silent. Choose silence. Choose discipline over carelessness. Choose the power of restraint until you can fully stand in the truth of your desires. Silence will become your strength. You will not feel the need to speak just for the sake of speaking. You will find comfort in stillness, knowing that your energy is better spent on words that build, not destroy. And when you do speak, your words will carry weight. They will be backed by intention, by clarity, by the certainty that what you declare must come to pass. If you cannot yet speak in alignment with your highest self, then say nothing at all. Let silence be your shield until you are ready to wield words as instruments of power. In that stillness, transformation begins. In that quiet, the future is rewritten. Your words are the architects of your reality. Every sentence you speak is a blueprint, shaping the world around you, whether you realize it or not. Speak as though your desires are already fulfilled, for the subconscious mind responds only to the present. Avoid words of lack, for they create the very struggles you seek to escape. Instead, let your speech align with the abundance, love, and success you wish to experience. And when you cannot yet speak with conviction, choose silence over limitation. Guard your energy until you are ready to command your world with certainty. Mastering the power of words is mastering the power of creation itself. When you speak with intention, when you declare only what you seek, life will reshape itself to match your words. Align your language with your highest vision, and soon that vision will no longer be a dream. It will be your reality. Thank you for listening, and may your words lead you to the life you truly desire. Right now, I ask you, what do you want? Is it love, success, wealth, health? It does not matter, for all things are possible when you learn to feel. The moment you allow yourself to step into the reality of your wish fulfilled, the unseen forces move to bring it into form. You do not need permission from the world. You do not need to beg, to struggle, to chase. You only need to shift within, to accept without resistance that your desire is already yours. Tonight, before you sleep, I ask you to do this. Enter that drowsy state, that quiet moment before dreams take over, and imagine yourself living the life you desire. But do not just see it. Feel it. Feel the warmth of love if you seek companionship. Feel the joy of success if you desire wealth. Feel the ease of health if you long for healing. Hold on to that feeling until it becomes natural, until it feels like home. And then release it. Walk in faith. Do not search for signs. The world must follow what you have already accepted as true. There is a hidden force within you, one that has been overlooked, dismissed, and misunderstood. It is not found in effort, struggle, or force. Yet it has the power to shape your reality, to turn your desires into tangible experiences. This force is feeling. You have been taught to believe that hard work, persistence, and external actions are the primary tools for success. You have been told that if you want something, you must chase it relentlessly, work tirelessly, and fight against the odds. But what if I told you that the secret is not in effort, but in knowing, in assuming, in feeling your desire is already fulfilled? This is the key that unlocks the unseen and brings it into form. Think of the one thing you truly desire. Perhaps it is financial abundance, a loving relationship, vibrant health, or success in a chosen field. Whatever it may be, notice how your mind instinctively calculates how it will come, how long it will take, or whether it is even possible. This is the conditioning of the physical world, a world that demands proof before belief. But creation does not work this way. The truth is the reverse. Believe first, and the proof will follow. Everything you have in your life right now is a reflection of past assumptions and dominant feelings. You did not consciously struggle for every single thing you possess. Much of it came naturally because at some level you felt it was yours. The house you live in, the people you interact with, the circumstances you find yourself in. All of it was once an invisible feeling, a silent assumption, a state you occupied within before it materialized within. The mistake many make is trying to force a new reality while still feeling lack, doubt, or desperation. They visualize wealth while feeling poor. They affirm love while feeling lonely. They work hard but carry the underlying belief that success is difficult. This contradiction keeps them stuck, for it is not the thought alone that manifests, but the feeling behind it. Feeling is the substance of creation. It is the energy that molds reality. You must learn to assume the feeling of already having what you desire. When you close your eyes and imagine yourself living in the fullness of your wish fulfilled, do not merely see it, feel it. Feel the peace of abundance, the security of success, the joy of love. Let it sink into your being until it feels natural, until it no longer feels like a dream but a memory. This is not daydreaming, this is creation. The moment you accept a feeling as true, reality begins shifting to match it. You may not see changes immediately, but the unseen forces are already at work. Stay faithful to this new feeling. Walk in it, speak from it, and most importantly, rest in it. Do not let the outer world deceive you. Circumstances do not matter, only your inner state does. If you persist in the feeling of your desire fulfilled, the world must conform. It has no choice. For feeling is the secret, and what you feel, you become. Your imagination is the foundation of your reality. Everything you see, touch, and experience in the physical world first existed in the unseen realm of thought. Every great invention, every towering skyscraper, every work of art, and every success story began as an idea, an image held in the mind. But it is not merely thinking or wishing that brings these things to life. It is the assumption that they are real, the feeling of their truth, that causes them to manifest. Your imagination is not a place of idle fantasy. It is the workshop of creation. The reality you live in today is the direct result of what you have imagined and accepted as true in the past. Whether you were aware of it or not, your dominant assumptions shape the course of your life. The relationships you have, the money in your account, the opportunities before you, all of it is a reflection of your inner world. If you wish to change what you see, you must first change what you imagine and feel to be real. Many people believe they are victims of circumstances, but nothing in your external world has power over you unless you accept it as true. The outer world is a shadow, a reflection of your internal state. If you persist in the assumption of lack, struggle, or rejection, your world must mirror that experience. But if you dare to assume and feel the reality of abundance, ease, and love, then your world must shift to reflect that new assumption. Feeling is the bridge between imagination and manifestation. It is not enough to merely think about what you want, you must feel it as if it were already yours. The subconscious mind does not respond to words alone. It responds to emotion, to the depth of conviction behind the thought. If you imagine yourself wealthy while secretly feeling poor, your dominant feeling will win. But if you assume the feeling of wealth, of security, of financial ease. Even before a single dollar appears, the world must rearrange itself to make that assumption real. Your imagination is limitless, and so are the possibilities before you. Nothing is too big, too difficult, or too far beyond reach. The only limits that exist are those you place on yourself through doubt and disbelief. The moment you release these limitations and dwell in the feeling of your desire fulfilled, the world begins to shift. People, events, and opportunities move in ways you could not have predicted. Paths open where there were none before. What once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. The key is persistence. You must remain faithful to your inner vision regardless of what the outer world shows you. Do not be deceived by temporary appearances. The delay between assumption and manifestation is only an illusion meant to test your faith. If you continue to live in the feeling of your desire, without wavering, without doubting, then what you have imagined will harden into fact. Everything begins within. Your imagination creates your reality, and feeling is the force that brings it to life. Assume the best, feel it as real, and watch as your world transforms before your eyes. The world you see around you is not as solid or fixed as it seems. Everything that appears in your reality is merely a reflection of your past thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions. Your senses tell you that circumstances are real, that what is in front of you is all there is. But this is an illusion. The physical world is not the cause of your experiences, it is the effect. The cause is within you. Most people live as though the outside world has power over them. They react to what they see, hear, and feel, believing that circumstances dictate their emotions, their actions, and their possibilities. If they see lack, they believe in lack. If they experience rejection, they assume they are unworthy. They allow what appears now to determine what they will continue to experience. But if you live this way, you are merely chasing shadows. You are allowing the past to repeat itself because you are holding on to what your senses tell you is true. If you wish to change your reality, you must first detach from what your senses report. Do not let the external world define you. It is not permanent. It is not unchangeable. It is simply a reflection of what you once assumed to be true. To create something new, you must turn your attention inward and shift your inner state. You must feel differently first, before the world can reflect it back to you. Think of a mirror. If you frown into it, it does not smile back at you. The image only changes when you change. Reality works the same way. If you feel poor, neglected, or unworthy, the world will continue to reflect that back to you. But if you assume a new feeling, if you persist in the belief that you are abundant, loved, and successful, the mirror must change. It has no choice. The world is only responding to what you assume to be true. This is why detachment is essential. If you remain emotionally tied to what your senses show you, you will keep reinforcing the same reality. You must rise above appearances and live from a deeper knowing. The knowing that what you feel within now is what will soon become real in the world outside. Ignore the current circumstances if they do not align with your desires. They are nothing more than echoes of old beliefs. They are not permanent, they are not final. Does not mean ignoring your responsibilities or withdrawing from life. It means refusing to be controlled by the illusion of lack, failure, or limitation. It means choosing your inner state rather than letting the world choose it for you. When you master this, you become free. You no longer react to life, you create it. Your only job is to hold on to the feeling of what you desire as if it is already true. The world will catch up. It must. The unseen always precedes the seen. Change how you feel and reality will follow. Let go of doubt, stop reacting, and trust in the unseen power within you. Your world will transform before your eyes. You do not need to beg for what is already yours. You do not need to wish, to hope, or to look outside of yourself for signs that your desire is coming. If you truly understood the power within you, you would know that desire itself is proof of its fulfillment. The moment you desire something, it already exists in an unseen reality. Your only task is to dwell in the end, to assume and feel that it is already yours. Most people live in a state of waiting. They hope, they long, they wish for a future in which their dreams will come true. But in doing so, they keep their desire in the future always just out of reach. They send signals to their subconscious mind that they do not have what they want. And so the world reflects that lack. The secret is not in waiting, but in assuming, in stepping into the state of already having it. Right now, think of your deepest desire. Instead of seeing it as something separate from you, something you must chase or work for, imagine it as already fulfilled. How would you feel if you had it right now? How would you move, speak, and think if it were already done? Let that feeling consume you. Let it become your natural state. The more you dwell in this feeling, the more real it becomes, until the world has no choice but to conform. You do not need to know how your desire will manifest. That is not your concern. The world will rearrange itself in ways you cannot predict. Opportunities will arise, circumstances will shift, and people will play their part, all aligning to bring your assumption into reality. But you must remain faithful to the end result. You must persist in the feeling of fulfillment, regardless of what the outer world currently shows you. This is where many people fail. They begin to assume, to feel the reality of their wish, but then they look around and see no immediate change. Doubt creeps in. They check for signs, they question whether it is working, and they slip back into their old state of longing. This wavering undoes their work. To manifest what you desire, you must remain unmoved by appearances. You must trust that what you have assumed is already in motion, even if there is no visible evidence yet. Think of planting a seed. You do not dig it up every day to check if it is growing. You trust the process, knowing that beneath the surface, unseen forces are at work. The same is true for your desires. Once you have assumed them to be true, your only job is to live in that state, to think, feel, and act as though it is already done. This is the secret of effortless creation. When you stop trying to make things happen and instead dwell in the end, reality bends to match your inner world. What once seemed impossible will unfold naturally, without force or struggle. Simply be the person who already has what they desire, and the world will reflect it. It is law. Every night, as you close your eyes and drift into sleep, you stand at the doorway of creation. In this drowsy, relaxed state, your conscious mind fades, and your subconscious becomes highly impressionable. It no longer argues, doubts, or questions. It simply accepts. This is the most powerful moment to reshape your reality, to implant the feeling of your wish fulfilled so deeply that it must manifest in the world around you. Most people go to sleep in a state of worry, regret, or frustration. They replay the troubles of the day, dwell on their struggles, and unknowingly impress these negative feelings upon their subconscious. The next day, they wake up to more of the same circumstances because they have unknowingly recreated them in their sleep. But you can use this time differently. You can enter the state of the wish fulfilled and allow your subconscious to make it real. Before sleep, let go of the outer world. Do not concern yourself with what is happening, what has happened, or what may come. None of that matters. All that matters is the reality you are about to create within. Close your eyes, relax your body, and enter a state of calm. Feel the heaviness of sleep approaching, but remain aware enough to direct your thoughts. This is the perfect moment to assume the feeling of your desire already being yours. See yourself in the life you want, not as an observer, but as a participant. If your desire is love, feel the warmth of it surrounding you. If it is success, hear the words of praise spoken to you. If it is abundance, sense the security and ease of having more than enough. Make the scene as vivid as possible, but more importantly, let it be natural. Do not force it. Let it unfold effortlessly. as though you are recalling a memory rather than creating a fantasy. The key is not just to visualize, but to feel. Feeling is the language of the subconscious. If you simply watch images in your mind without emotion, you are only daydreaming. But the moment you attach a deep, genuine feeling to the scene, as though it is happening now, your subconscious accepts it as truth. And what the subconscious accepts as true, it must bring to life. Persist in this feeling until sleep takes over. Let yourself drift off in the assumption that your desire is already fulfilled. This is not a time to think about how it will happen or to question whether it is working. This is a time to surrender to the feeling of already having what you want. By doing this, you impress your subconscious with the new reality, and it will work tirelessly to manifest it in ways beyond your comprehension. When you wake, resist the urge to doubt. Do not look at the outer world for immediate proof. Simply trust that the seed has been planted and allow it to unfold. The world you wake up to will soon begin to change, aligning itself with the assumption you fell asleep in. This is the secret of effortless creation. If you sleep each night in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, the day will come when you no longer have to imagine it, because it will be your reality. Faith is not hoping, wishing, or waiting for proof. Faith is feeling, a deep inner knowing that what you have assumed is already yours. The world may show you nothing yet. There may be no physical evidence. But the moment you feel something as real within, it has already begun to materialize. Most people believe only in what they can see, hear, or touch. They wait for confirmation from the outside world before they allow themselves to believe. But this is not faith. Faith does not require proof. Faith is the ability to feel something into being, to trust in the unseen so completely that it must appear in the seen. Right now, whatever you desire, whether it is love, success, wealth, or healing, exists as a possibility. It is not separate from you. The only thing keeping it at a distance is your belief that it is not yet real. But the moment you accept it within, the moment you feel its reality before seeing it, the process of manifestation begins. Your subconscious takes that feeling as truth, and the world around you starts to shift to reflect it. Most people sabotage their own desires by looking for evidence too soon. They assume their wish fulfilled for a moment, then immediately check their surroundings to see if anything has changed. When they see the same circumstances, they doubt, they question, and they fall back into their old state of lack. This wavering cancels out their assumption. You must persist in the feeling of your wish fulfilled, regardless of what the physical world shows you. Think of a seed planted in the soil. The moment you plant it, the process of growth has already begun, even though you cannot see it yet. If you keep digging it up to check if it is growing, you will only delay its progress. The same is true for your desires. Once you have assumed them as real within, leave them undisturbed. Trust that the unseen forces are working to bring them into form. Feeling is the secret ingredient. It is not enough to simply say, "I believe." You must feel the reality of your desire. If you desire love, feel the warmth and joy of being in that loving relationship now. If you desire success, feel the confidence, the satisfaction, the ease of already being successful. Do not wait for the world to give you permission to feel this way. Feel it now, and the world will follow. Faith is not passive, it is an active state of being. It is living as though your desire is already a fact, speaking as though it is done, walking as though you are the person who already has it. When you truly embody this feeling, you will no longer need proof, because you know it is done. And once you know it is done within, it must become done without. This is the great mystery of creation. The world does not shape your belief shapes the world. Change your inner feeling, hold firm in your faith, and reality will bend to match it. Everything you seek, love, success, abundance, or peace begins within you. The outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner state. When you learn to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, to trust in the unseen, and to persist in that inner knowing, you become the master of your reality. There is no need to struggle, chase, or doubt. Simply feel it as real, and the world will rearrange itself to match your assumption. And do not be deceived by what your senses show you today. The circumstances you see are only the echoes of past thoughts and beliefs. But you are not bound by them. At any moment, you can step into a new state of being, a new assumption, and watch as your world transforms before you. The key is faith, not blind hope, but the deep, unwavering feeling that it is already done. If you can fall asleep in the state of your fulfilled desire, if you can carry that knowing throughout your day, and if you can trust that the unseen is more real than the seen, then nothing will be impossible for you. You are the creator of your reality. Feel it, believe it, and it must be so. Thank you for a moment and listen. Not just with your ears, but with your soul. There is no separation between you and the wealth you desire, except for one thing: your own acceptance. You have been told that money is hard to earn, that it requires sacrifice, that it is reserved for the fortunate few. But I tell you now, these are illusions, nothing more than shadows cast by the mind. Money is not outside of you. It is not something to be chased, to be begged for, or to be feared. It is an extension of you, an expression of the abundance that already exists within. The question is not whether money will come. The question is, have you accepted it? You see, the world does not give you what you want. It gives you what you are. If you believe in struggle, struggle will appear. If you believe in abundance, abundance will manifest. The wealthy do not become wealthy through effort alone. They become wealthy because they assume themselves to be so. Their state of mind commands their reality. So I ask you now, what do you assume about yourself? Do you see yourself as someone who constantly lacks, who barely gets by, who fears the arrival of bills? Or do you see yourself as someone to whom money comes naturally, as effortlessly as the air you breathe? Your imagination is the gateway to your fortune. The moment you stop waiting for money, the moment you stop hoping and start knowing, you will see how effortlessly it flows to you. Feel it now. Feel the ease, the security, the freedom. Let go of every thought of scarcity. Wealth is not something distant. It is here, now, waiting for your acceptance. There is no need to struggle, no need to plead, no need to work yourself into exhaustion. The only work required is the inner work, the work of assumption, the work of belief, the work of knowing that money is already yours. Walk through life from this moment forward as one who is already financially free. Speak as if you are wealthy. Think as if you are wealthy. Act as if you are wealthy. Not out of arrogance, but out of the deep and unshakable truth that what you assume must come to pass. Your world is not separate from you. It is you reflected outwardly. Every circumstance, every financial condition, every so-called chance event is nothing more than the projection of your internal state of mind. If you find yourself in lack, struggling to make ends meet, constantly worried about money, it is not because the world is unfair or opportunities are scarce. It is because, on a deep level, you have accepted the idea of scarcity as truth. Likewise, those who seem to attract wealth effortlessly do not do so by luck or external advantage, but because they have internally accepted abundance as their natural state. The mind is the foundation of all experience. Whatever you hold to be true within yourself must eventually externalize in your world. You may believe that money is difficult to earn, that financial success requires relentless struggle, or that wealth is only for a select few. If these ideas dominate your consciousness, then the world will confirm them. You will see your bank account reflect limitation. Your opportunities will seem few, and you will feel trapped in an endless cycle of financial hardship. This is not because reality is inherently harsh, but because you have unknowingly imposed these limitations upon yourself. The wealthy, on the other hand, do not necessarily work harder than others, nor are they inherently more deserving. The difference lies in their assumption about money. To them, money is natural, abundant, and ever-flowing. They do not question whether they deserve it, nor do they worry about losing it. They operate from an inner state of financial security, and as a result, their external world arranges itself to match that belief. Even in times of apparent crisis, they do not fall into fear because their foundation is unshaken. They know, deep within, that abundance is their natural state, and so it remains. You must understand that money itself holds no power over you. It is neutral. It does not determine your worth, nor does it dictate your happiness. What gives money power is your belief about it. If you believe money is difficult to obtain, it will be. If you believe it is constantly slipping through your fingers, you will always feel like you never have enough. But if you shift your internal perception, if you begin to see money as an effortless, natural part of your life, it will respond accordingly. Consider how easily you accept the air you breathe. You do not wake up wondering if there will be enough oxygen for you today. You do not feel the need to chase it, to beg for it, or to fight for it. You simply know that it is there, available to you at all times. Imagine if you treated money the same way. Imagine if you released the fear, the stress, the feeling of lack, and simply accepted that financial abundance is as natural as the air around you. How different would your experience be? Most people try to change their financial situation by taking external action while ignoring their internal state. They chase opportunities, work long hours, and force themselves into struggle, all while holding on to the belief that money is difficult to attain. This is why their efforts often bring little lasting change. The key is not in the struggle, but in the shift of consciousness. Before money can appear in your external world, it must first be accepted within. To shift your internal state, begin by observing your thoughts and emotions around money. Do you feel stress and worry when you think about it? Do you catch yourself saying, "I can't afford that," or "I never have enough"? These small, seemingly insignificant thoughts are powerful, for they reinforce the very conditions you wish to change. Start replacing these thoughts with new ones. When you find yourself thinking of lack, consciously shift your focus to abundance. Instead of saying, "I can't afford it," say, "Money flows to me effortlessly, and I always have more than enough." Instead of worrying about bills, affirm, "All my financial needs are met with ease." Visualization is also a powerful tool. Take a moment each day to close your eyes and feel the reality of financial abundance. Not as something distant, but as something real, happening now. Imagine yourself living the life of wealth and ease. Feel the security, the freedom, the joy that comes with knowing money is always present. As you do this consistently, your subconscious mind will accept it as truth, and the external world will adjust accordingly. You must also release the fear of losing money. Many who achieve wealth fall back into financial struggle because they never truly shifted their inner state. They accumulated money but remained fearful of losing it. Fear attracts the very thing it focuses on. True financial freedom is not just having money, but knowing that money is always available to you, no matter the circumstance. Understand that you are the source of all abundance. The external world is not something separate from you, dictating your circumstances. It is your own consciousness materialized. Change your inner state and your financial reality must change as well. Accept money as natural, let go of struggle, and assume the mindset of effortless abundance. The moment you do, wealth will no longer be something you chase. It will be something that flows to you. because it has already been accepted within. Money, like all things in life, is an energy that responds to the state of mind you hold. When you view money as something difficult to obtain, something that requires endless struggle and effort, you unknowingly push it further away. The very act of struggling affirms that you do not have it. The harder you chase, the more you reinforce the idea that it is not already yours. But what if you could shift your approach entirely? What if, instead of struggling, you relaxed into the certainty that money is already on its way to you, effortlessly and abundantly? The belief that wealth requires struggle is deeply ingrained in many. From a young age, people are conditioned to think that money is something that must be fought for, something that comes only through hard work and sacrifice. They are told that financial freedom is reserved for the lucky or the privileged, and that the only way to attain it is through relentless effort. But this mindset only creates more resistance. It places money on a pedestal, making it something separate, something distant, something to be chased. And anything you chase remains just out of reach. Consider those who seem to attract money with ease. They do not run after it, nor do they exhaust themselves in the process of acquiring it. Instead, they carry a calm certainty, a quiet confidence that money will always be there for them. They do not worry about where it will come from. They simply expect it to come. And because they expect it, it does. Their mindset aligns with abundance, and as a result, abundance flows naturally to them. On the other hand, those who constantly struggle for money unknowingly reinforce its absence. When you are desperate, anxious, or fearful about money, you are sending a signal that you believe it is lacking in your life. Your emotions and beliefs create your reality. The more you focus on lack, the more lack you will experience. Even when money does come, if you are operating from a mindset of struggle, it will slip through your fingers and you will find yourself back in the same cycle of financial hardship. The solution is to release the struggle. It does not mean you stop taking action or become passive. It means you shift the way you relate to money. Instead of chasing, you allow. Instead of forcing, you receive. Instead of worrying, you trust. This shift begins with a change in perspective. Imagine for a moment that money is not something outside of you, but something that naturally flows to you like air. You do not chase after air. You do not wonder if there will be enough for you tomorrow. You do not wake up in a state of panic about whether or not you will be able to breathe. You simply trust that the air is always present, always available. What if you treated money the same way? What if, instead of fearing its absence, you trusted in its constant availability? One of the most powerful ways to detach from the struggle mindset is to embody the feeling of already having money. This means stepping into the emotional and mental state of financial abundance before it physically appears. Instead of worrying about bills, feel the relief and ease of knowing they are effortlessly paid. Instead of stressing over income, feel the confidence of knowing that money flows to you in unexpected and limitless ways. By shifting your internal state, you align yourself with abundance, and your external world must follow. This is not about pretending or faking it. It is about truly accepting that wealth is already yours. When you relax into this truth, you no longer need to chase. You no longer need to force. You trust in the natural flow of abundance, and that trust allows money to move toward you effortlessly. Detaching from struggle also means letting go of fear of not having enough, fear of losing what you already have, fear of financial uncertainty. These fears only create more scarcity. Instead, develop a mindset of security, no matter your current circumstances. Even if your bank account is empty, do not allow your mind to dwell on lack. Remind yourself that what you see in the physical world is only a reflection of past thoughts and beliefs. Change your thoughts now, and your financial situation will soon change to match them. The irony is that when you stop struggling for money, it begins to appear in your life more easily. When you stop worrying, you free up your energy to receive opportunities. When you stop chasing, you become magnetic to wealth. This is not about working less or avoiding responsibility. It is about shifting from a place of desperation to a place of calm expectation. There is no need to fight for money. There is no need to stress over it. Abundance is already available to you. The only thing that keeps it at bay is your belief that you must struggle for it. Let go of that belief. Trust in the flow of money as naturally as you trust in the rising of the sun. Relax and know that it is already yours. Wealth is not something outside of you. It is not a number in a bank account, nor is it the possessions you accumulate. Wealth is, first and foremost, a state of consciousness. Before money can appear in your reality, you must first claim it in your imagination. You must become rich in thought, in feeling, in certainty, before the world reflects it back to you. Many believe that they will feel wealthy once they have money, that the external proof must come first. But this is an illusion. The world does not dictate what you believe. Rather, what you believe dictates the world you experience. If you wait for money to feel rich, you will always be waiting. But if you assume the feeling of wealth now, before any visible change, your external reality will inevitably shift to match that assumption. Everything in your life is a reflection of your state of being. If you live with a mindset of lack, constantly thinking about what you do not have, worrying about bills, and feeling the weight of financial struggle, you are reinforcing that state of being. Your mind is like a projector, casting your internal world onto the screen of reality. You cannot expect to see a movie of abundance when the real you are playing is one of scarcity. So, how do you shift? How do you step into the consciousness of wealth when your external circumstances seem to say otherwise? The answer is simple. Live as if you are already wealthy. This does not mean reckless spending or pretending to be something you are not. It means embracing the inner confidence, security, and ease that a wealthy person naturally feels. It means walking through life knowing that money is always flowing to you, that opportunities are limitless, and that abundance is your natural state. It means replacing thoughts of worry with thoughts of gratitude. Replacing thoughts of worry with trust that everything you need. Consider the difference in energy between someone who is struggling financially and someone who is truly wealthy. A person trapped in scarcity is anxious, desperate, and fearful. They make decisions from a place of lack, clinging to every dollar, fearing that there will never be enough. They constantly affirm their poverty with thoughts like, I can't afford this, I never have enough, money is hard to get. These thoughts solidify their financial reality. Now contrast this with a person who embodies the consciousness of wealth. They are calm, they trust that money will always be available to them. They do not chase, they attract. They see opportunities where others see obstacles. They are generous, not because they have excess, but because they know giving and receiving are part of the same flow. They affirm abundance with thoughts like, money comes to me easily, there is always more than enough. I am open to receiving wealth in all forms. And because they think this way, their reality aligns accordingly. You can begin shifting into this consciousness now, regardless of your present financial situation. Start by imagining yourself as wealthy. Not someday, not in the distant future, but right now. Close your eyes and step into the version of yourself who already has everything they desire. How does this version of you walk? How do they speak? What do they believe about money? How do they feel when they check their bank account? Immerse yourself in this feeling until it becomes second nature. Your imagination is the blueprint of your reality. What you accept as true internally must manifest externally. If you persist in the assumption of wealth, your world will reshape itself to reflect that belief. This is not wishful thinking, this is the law of consciousness. The world cannot contradict the state you dwell in. Some may argue that they cannot feel wealthy while their bills pile up, while they struggle to make ends meet. But understand this, reacting to your current circumstances only keeps them alive. What you focus on expands. If you want to change your financial reality, you must stop reinforcing what you do not want. Instead, give your full attention to what you do want. Wealth, ease, financial freedom, and make that your dominant feeling. This is the key. Act as if it is already done. Think, speak, and feel as a wealthy person would, even before the evidence appears. Do not look to the world to confirm it first. Your confirmation comes from within. The moment you claim wealth in consciousness, the process of manifestation begins. It may not happen overnight, but if you persist in this state, the world will rearrange itself to match your new assumption. You are already wealthy, not because of what you see in the physical, but because of what you hold in your mind. Let go of the old beliefs of struggle and limitation. Step into the knowing that abundance is already yours. Live from that truth and watch as money, opportunities, and prosperity flow into your life effortlessly. Your financial reality is a reflection of who you believe yourself to be. If you see yourself as someone who struggles, who never has enough, who is always chasing after money, then that is exactly the experience you will continue to have. Your identity, what you assume to be true about yourself, dictates what you allow into your life. Many people try to change their financial situation without first changing their self-concepts. They seek new jobs, new strategies, or external opportunities while still carrying the identity of someone who is struggling. They wonder why, no matter what they do, money always seems to slip through their fingers, why their bank accounts never grow, why they remain stuck in the same financial cycles. The reason is simple. They have not yet changed the person they believe themselves to be. Your world is a mirror, reflecting back to you your innermost assumptions. If you identify as a person who is bad with money, who can't seem to get ahead, who is always in debt, then no matter how hard you try, your subconscious will work to confirm those beliefs. You will make decisions, take actions, and create circumstances that align with that identity, often without even realizing it. But the moment you shift your self-concept, everything changes. When you begin to see yourself as someone who is financially abundant, who naturally attracts and manages money well, who always has more than enough, your world will start to shift in response. You will make different choices. You will attract different opportunities. You will behave in ways that reinforce your new reality. This is why wealthy individuals tend to stay wealthy, because they carry the self-perceived of a person who is wealthy. They do not doubt their financial security. They do not feel anxious about money. They know at their core that abundance is their natural state. Even if they lose money, they do not panic because their identity is intact. They trust that more will come, and so it does. If you want to change your financial reality, you must first change how you see yourself. Begin by observing the thoughts and words you use around money. Do you speak from lack? Do you constantly tell yourself, I can't afford that, money is hard to get, I'm always broke? These statements reinforce the very reality you are trying to escape. Every time you affirm your struggle, you are cementing it further into place. Start speaking and thinking from the identity of a wealthy person. Say to yourself, I am someone who attracts money easily. I always have more than enough. Wealth flows to me effortlessly. These are not just words, they are declarations of a new identity. The more you affirm them, the more your subconscious will accept them as truth. Your behaviors will follow. A person who believes they are wealthy acts differently from someone who believes they are struggling. They handle money with confidence. They make decisions from a place of abundance, not fear. They invest in themselves. They are generous not because they have excess, but because they trust in the flow of money. You do not need to wait for financial success to begin acting as a wealthy person would. Start now. How would a person with financial ease move through life? How would they think? How would they feel when they check their bank account? What kind of conversations would they have about money? Step into that identity and watch as your world begins to shift. Your subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It simply accepts what you repeatedly affirm. If you consistently reinforce a new identity of wealth, it will become your truth. And once your self-concept shifts, your external reality has no choice but to follow. You must stop seeing wealth as something outside of yourself, something separate from you, something you have to chase. Instead, recognize that it is a state of being, a reflection of who you assume yourself to be. The moment you claim a new identity, you activate a new reality. Let go of the old self, the one who struggled, the one who worried, the one who believed money was scarce. That version of you no longer exists. Step fully into the identity of someone who is financially free, and your world will reshape itself to match that assumption. Wealth is not something you achieve, it is something you become. Most people believe that financial abundance comes from effort, from struggle, from doing more, working harder, pushing against the world until money finally appears. But this is an illusion. The true secret to wealth is not in doing, it is in feeling. What you feel now determines what you experience later. If you wait for money to show up before you allow yourself to feel abundant, you are reversing the process. You are saying to life, I will feel wealthy once I have wealth, but life only reflects back what you assume to be true. If you feel lack, if you feel stress, if you feel uncertainty, then that is what will continue to manifest in your world. But when you shift your feelings, when you step into the sensation of already having, already being, already experiencing financial ease, everything begins to change. Reality reshapes itself to match your inner state. This is not a trick, nor is it wishful thinking. It is the fundamental way in which your world operates. Think of a time when you felt truly secure, even if just for a moment. Maybe you received an unexpected sum of money, and for a brief period, you felt relief. Maybe you completed a task successfully and felt the confidence of knowing you were capable. Maybe you imagined a future where everything worked out, and you felt the warmth of that possibility. That feeling, security, ease, confidence, is the key. The money itself is not the goal. The goal is the state of being that money represents to you. It is never about the numbers in your bank account. It is about how those numbers make you feel. So why wait? Why postpone the feeling of financial security when you can feel it right now? The moment you choose to feel wealthy without any external validation, you activate a new reality. You signal to life that this is your state of being, and life has no choice but to conform. This is why so many who chase money never seem to catch it. They move from a state of lack, of desperation, of anxiety, and all they do is reinforce those feelings. They push harder, struggle more, try every strategy, yet their reality does not shift. Because internally, they still feel like they are lacking. Try a different approach. Close your eyes and imagine yourself as already wealthy, not in the distant future, not as a possibility, but as your current truth. What does it feel like to wake up in complete financial security? How does it feel to know that money is always flowing to you? Experience the lightness, the relaxation, the quiet confidence of a person who no longer worries about finances. Let that feeling sink into you. Carry it with you throughout the day. When doubts arise, remind yourself that your state of being creates your reality. If you can feel it now, it must materialize. It is law. This is not about pretending or deceiving yourself. It is about shifting your awareness to a higher truth. The truth that abundance is not outside of you. It is within you, waiting for you to claim it. Look around at those who naturally attract money. They do not chase it. They do not beg for it. They move with a quiet certainty, a knowing that it is already theirs. They expect financial ease, and so they experience financial ease. Do not seek money. Seek the feeling that money represents. Once you embody that feeling, money will follow. This is the law, and it does not fail. Many people unknowingly push wealth away because they carry fear and guilt about money. They have been conditioned to believe that money is evil, that desiring abundance is selfish, or that wealth is only for a select few. These beliefs are deeply ingrained, often passed down through generations, and they create an invisible barrier between them and financial freedom. But money itself is not good or bad, it is neutral, an energy that flows in response to your beliefs and assumptions. Just as the ocean does not judge the waves that rise and fall, money does not discriminate. It simply moves toward those who are open to receiving it. If you hold fear around money, if you believe that wealth will corrupt you or make you less spiritual, you will unconsciously resist it. You may desire more, but at the same time you will push it away, creating a cycle of struggle. You may sabotage opportunities, reject financial blessings, or feel undeserving of abundance, all because deep down you associate money with something negative. Let go of these false ideas. Wealth is not a sign of greed. It is a sign of expansion. The more you have, the more you can give, the more freedom you experience, and the greater your ability to create, support, and uplift others. Money is not something to fear. It is something to accept as a natural part of life. Look at nature. There is no limitation, no withholding. The trees do not struggle to grow. The rivers do not beg to flow. The sun does not hesitate to shine. Abundance is everywhere, constantly expressing itself. You too are part of this divine abundance. The same energy that sustains the universe is flowing through you, and money is simply one of its many forms. If you have been conditioned to feel guilty about money, recognize that this guilt serves no one. Rejecting wealth does not help the poor, and struggling financially does not make you more virtuous. The belief that suffering is noble is one of the greatest illusions. There is nothing noble about lack. True virtue lies in understanding that you are meant to thrive, to flourish, to experience the fullness of life. Wealth is not reserved for a chosen few. It is available to all who align with it, all who release the false beliefs that keep it at a distance. The moment you let go of guilt, the moment you see money as an extension of the divine flow, it will begin to move toward you effortlessly. This is why those who feel comfortable with wealth tend to attract more of it. They do not carry guilt, they do not question whether they deserve it, they simply accept it as a natural part of life. They do not apologize for their success, nor do they feel the need to justify their financial blessings. They understand that money is meant to circulate, to be used, to create, to expand. You must do the same. Release any lingering fear, any hesitation, any belief that wealth is out of reach. Know that you are worthy of abundance, not because of anything you have done, but because it is your natural state. Just as you do not need to earn the right to breathe, you do not need to prove yourself to receive financial blessings. You are already enough. Allow money to flow to you without resistance. Instead of feeling guilt when you receive, feel gratitude. Instead of fearing what wealth will do to you, trust that you will use it wisely. Instead of believing that there is not enough for everyone, recognize that abundance is limitless. When you let go of fear and guilt, you make room for wealth to enter your life. You no longer block its flow with limiting beliefs. You no longer sabotage your own success. And you no longer carry unnecessary burdens. Money is not something you must chase, nor is it something you must suffer for. It is an extension of divine abundance, meant to move through you freely. Accept it without guilt, welcome it without hesitation, and watch as your reality transforms. The truth about wealth has always been simple. It is not something you must struggle for, nor is it something to fear. Money is a reflection of your inner state, a natural extension of divine abundance that is meant to flow effortlessly into your life. When you detach from the struggle mindset, when you shift your identity to that of a person who naturally attracts wealth, and when you feel abundance before it appears, you align yourself with the reality you desire. Let go of the old beliefs that have kept you in lack. Stop seeing money as something outside of you, something difficult to attain. Instead, recognize that wealth is already yours. In consciousness, and as you claim it internally, it must manifest externally. There is no need for guilt, no need for fear. Money is not evil, nor does it belong only to a select few. It is simply a tool, a means through which you can experience greater freedom, joy, and expansion. Accept it with gratitude, welcome it without hesitation, and trust that as you change within, your financial reality will transform. You are already wealthy the moment you decide to be. Live from that knowing, and the world will reflect it back to you. Thank you.